Brazil is a beautiful country, there's no doubt about that. The country is home to both natural as well as man-made wonders. In case you're clueless, we're talking about the Amazon rainforest and Christ the Redeemer statue. Besides, there are several other beautiful places in the country that are worth visiting. In this video, we'll look at what makes Brazil the perfect destination for forests, and why it is so underrated as a sleepy tourist destination despite being rich in natural, historic, and cultural architecture. To know the entirety of the most underrated country in the world and more videos like this, make sure to smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell icon to never miss out on more videos like this. According to the World Tourism Organization, 2017 saw 11 million people visit Belarus and 7.7 million people visit Kazakhstan. These numbers are higher than Brazil, which received only 6.6 million visitors. The country is well known all over the world for being the party capital. It's known for its beaches, cocktails, samba, surfing, and a lot of other things that tourists tend to enjoy. While Belarus and Kazakhstan are no doubt amazing places to visit, they are respectively famous or infamous for being Europe's last total dictatorship and for the fictional character Borat, so these statistics are certainly a little surprising. Brazil is not completely devoid of visitors. Beach towns in the south and southeast have a fair number of Argentinians, who have rather colder and more windswept beaches in their own country. And across the more popular tourist locations, you can find a smattering of digital nomads and backpackers. Parts of Rio de Janeiro are borderline touristy. Yet on the whole, there are few countries in which you'll have such an easy time getting off the beaten track and meeting locals as in Brazil. Not only are hostels, hotels, and pousadas filled with locals, the culture is extraordinarily lively. You'll easily strike up conversations at the beach, at bars, in restaurants, and pretty much anywhere else you can think of. People are Brazil's greatest treasure, warm, funny, as easygoing as the stereotype suggests, and possibly the most ethnically mixed population on the planet. Famous Brazilians like Pelé and Gisele Bündchen show off a little of this variety, and most tourists will know that many indigenous communities live in the Amazon. But visitors might be surprised to find out that Brazil also has the largest Japanese community outside Japan, more native German speakers than Berlin, and 7 million people of Lebanese descent, more than Lebanon itself. And if you take out the people, you are left with a land that is beautiful and blessed. Few countries are blessed by nature as Brazil. The country is so enormous it defies belief. Bigger than the lower 48 states of the US, all of Australia or Antarctica, and over twice the size of the entire European Union. Much of that land is covered by the Amazon rainforest, home to 1 in 10 of animal species on Earth. But most Brazilians actually live near the coastal regions in the east. It's easy to understand why, since Brazil's 4,600 miles of coastland are filled with many of the world's most pristine beaches. Yet the length of this coast allows for astonishing variety of climate, flora, and fauna that simply can't be found in the Mediterranean or Caribbean. In a country so big, it is easy to find beautifully deserted stretches of sand that you and your friends can have to yourselves. But authentic Brazilian beaches are vibrant, filled with people playing volleyball, drinking beers, enjoying food, and surfing. The same atmosphere characterizes Brazil's most famous cities, business powerhouse and concrete jungle Sao Paulo, which houses more people than New York City and Los Angeles combined, and laid-back party capital Rio de Janeiro, which combines beaches, mountains, and iconic landmarks like Christ the Redeemer and the Maracanã Stadium into one of the world's most instantly recognizable landscapes. Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro are some of the biggest and most incredible cities on the planet, but they are also, for the most part, cities of glass and steel rather than attractive European-style architecture. They are also behind most of Brazil's stereotype for being a dangerous country, since they house the largest of the infamous favelas, slums feared by police, where it isn't unusual to see boys as young as 14 years old carrying fully loaded assault rifles. Although some favelas do attract tourism, they are often located on hills with great views, are known for wild parties, and are safer for tourists than for locals. They are not the sort of places that one wanders into by accident, so visitors that prioritize safety have nothing to fear. Outside the big cities, however, Brazil is a surprisingly safe country. Better yet, the other cities allow for exploration of some amazing architecture. Amongst other large cities, Brasilia, the national capital, founded in 1960, is one of the world's most famous planned cities, while Salvador, the first capital of Brazil, founded in 1549, is renowned for its historical Pelourinho district, which is packed with stunning churches and brightly colored houses that look as though they might have been plucked from Cinque Terre or Lisbon. Many smaller towns are equally beautiful and historical. Ouro Preto, for example, is a gorgeous Baroque town known for once being the heart of the Brazilian gold mining industry. Although the modern population is only 70,000, it was once the biggest city in Latin America. Gramado, a town of only 40,000 people in Brazil's southernmost state, was heavily influenced by 18th century German immigration, with the result that it is now characterized by alpine chalets and artisan chocolatiers. Immigration and colonial history have left the entirety of Brazil embroidered with beautiful, diverse, and characterful villages and towns that have no real parallel in either the US or Spanish-speaking Latin America. Even if villages and towns are too overwhelming for you, and if tranquil beaches aren't what you're looking for either, you're still in luck. Brazil has more national parks and bigger ones than even the US. Iguazu Falls, shared with Argentina, is the world's largest waterfall and the most famous of Brazil's parks, but plenty of others dot the country, giving you a chance to explore sand dunes, lagoons, mountains, canyons, forests, wetlands, and frankly, any natural environment you can imagine. Brazil's nature also provides the perfect backdrop for many sports. Brazil dominates world surfing, and northeastern town Jericoacoara is considered one of the world's best kiteboarding destinations, but you'll also find world-class scuba diving, primarily a paradisiacal island, Fernando de Noronha. In more conventional sports, Brazil is obviously the most successful nation in football history, and casual drop-in games are available to join on pretty much every corner, although the extremely high standard makes it almost as fun to just spectate. Much the same can be said about beach volleyball, in which Brazil is an Olympic force, but seemingly even more popular is foot volley, which is exactly what it sounds like, a type of beach volleyball where you can use every part of your body except hands, combining Brazil's other two favorite beach sports. For other uniquely Brazilian activities that let you immerse yourself in the culture, options abound. Salvador, the aforementioned first capital of Brazil, is also celebrated for the visually spectacular martial art capoeira, a combination of kickboxing and dance created by slaves. Those more interested in strictly martial pursuits might want to visit a gym for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the grappling-based judo variant, which decisively proved itself to be the world's most effective combat sport in the early years of mixed martial arts. Alternatively, those intrigued by dance will naturally want to explore the country's homegrown styles. Samba is the most famous, shown off brilliantly in the annual carnival street parades, but Foro and Zouk are other examples of popular and sensual dances worth trying. Speaking of food, Brazil's food is an underrated pleasure. The mainstays of the local diet are rice, salad, beans, and some form of meat, but certain regions have more interesting culinary traditions than others. Northeastern Bahia, for example, is home to the excellent coconut milk fish stew called moqueca, and to distinctively spicy dishes otherwise. It is the interior state of Minas Gerais, however, that is most praised for its food, particularly its pastries, cheese, and meat. Speaking of meat, barbecues, churrascos in Portuguese, are a beloved national pastime, particularly in southern states closest to Argentina. Immigrant communities also add much to Brazil's food tapestry, with good sushi and Middle Eastern pastries being widely available in cities. It also wouldn't do to forget drinks. Brazil has a thriving cocktail culture, and you're never too far away from strong tropical drinks, particularly the nationally emblematic caipirinhas. Beer is also widely drunk, with the emphasis typically being on highly chilled bottles rather than complex flavors, but lovers of good beer will find a home in the southern states, where the long history of German migration has led to plenty of excellent craft beers and microbreweries. Finally, although Brazil is not one of the world's leading wine destinations, it is developing an increasing reputation abroad for its sparkling white wines, particularly from the Serra Gaúcha region, where a favorable climate and strong Italian heritage have helped the development of true export-quality wines. While no country is perfect, Brazil's sheer size and variety mean that most people will find lots that they love about it. Whether you want to admire churches, surf, get drunk, or learn to grill, you never have an excuse to be bored there. Furthermore, while Brazil was an expensive place in the past, the 2014 economic crisis and continuing problems with inflation mean that it has never been cheaper to visit. So do yourself a favor at some point and consider getting on a flight to the world's most overlooked country. It's a country that's worth having to yourself, and we're sure you won't be disappointed. Thanks for watching.